Hi, so I'm going to be going over with you the first day of clarinet, everything that you need to know. My name is Miss Edwards and I'm excited to work with you and your student this year. So to start off with, just make sure your clarinet is, or your case is on a table somewhere that it's secure and not gonna fall off. So just open your case, make sure you don't open it upside down. And I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a cough, so just bear with me. We are going to start by taking our reed and placing it in water. So you can use either like a medicine bottle is what some students choose to use. Anything that you can kind of put a lid on so it won't spill. You don't keep your reed in the water, but as you're putting your instrument together, you do. So, just because saliva can break down the wood of the reed faster than we would prefer. So just put that in your cup of water off to the side, and we're going to start with the mouthpiece. So when you get it, it should look like this with the cap on it. We're just gonna put that cap to the side for now, and a ligature, so you can just pull that right off. And we're also gonna set that to the side because we're going to attach it to our barrel first. So the barrel, the bottom part of it that's thicker, goes to the bottom. Sorry, I just kind of gave it away there. You're just gonna twist it on gently. You don't wanna force it. If you need cork grease, feel free to just use a tiny bit. A little goes a long way. And we are going to attach that to our upper joint, and you can tell that it's the upper joint because it has the logo on it. So we are going to take that and just making sure that you're not going to break any of the keys or anything like that. Just go ahead and attach that. And the correct way to make sure that everything is in place is you look at the back of your clarinet, and this part should line right up with the mouthpiece right there where we're going to put the reed. And so now we are going to take our lower joint, and the way that you hold the lower joint is there's keys right here that you can press down, and then there's keys over here that are already pressed down. You're actually going to hold your thumb over those keys because this is the most secure way to make sure that you're not bending any keys. And with your upper joint, as we have right here, you have this second button right here. So when you hold your clarinet, you put your first finger right here and your second finger right here. You are going to depress that second button because it lifts up, oh, where is it? It lifts up this part of the clarinet. As you can see, I'm moving it right there. And we need that part to be lifted up so that we can attach it to the lower joint, or else it won't go on and it'll bend a key. So making sure that you have your thumb over that right there and your second key pressed down on your upper joint. You're going to put it right on, you're going to attach the two joints together. And what you want to make sure lines up, so you have to look really closely here, is next to these four keys right here. When I depress that key, it pops up like that. And you are lining it up with this part of the clarinet. Oh, you can barely see it. I'm sorry about that. You're going to line it up right there. I can just show you whenever I'm done. So that it looks a little something like this. There's really kind of no way for me to get in there under those four keys. Okay, here it is. So when you press it up, just like that. And so we have this so far. All we need to do is attach the bell. And so we have our bell right here. You can put the logo on the front. It doesn't really matter either way for the bell. Make sure that you hold it by that same part of the lower joint that I was talking about earlier. So it's upside down right now. And just put the bell on, and for some reason my bell just never wants to twist on, so just make sure that you're careful. I don't want to break the instrument. Here we go. And so now we have our fully assembled clarinet. We just need to worry about the mouthpiece and stuff. So grab your reed out of the water and make sure it's not like dripping or anything. And I like to put the ligature on before I put the reed on. So you want to make sure that no matter what, your screws are on the right side. Some ligatures look like this, and some look kind of like that. Mine's obviously not that kind, but the screws are on the right side no matter what, whether it's on the front or the back of the mouthpiece. And so I'm just going to put mine on and make sure my screws are loose enough for my reed to be able to fit in there. And I'm actually going to go at it from this way and slide it in there, making sure that you're doing your best not to touch the tip of the reed, just because it can chip easily. The grease on your hands, you don't want that to touch your mouthpiece at all. And so here's that, and then you can have the mouthpiece cap on whenever you feel like to protect the reed. So here's your fully assembled clarinet. So for carriage instructions, you are going to have your left hand on top always and your right hand on bottom always. So if you look at the back of the clarinet, there's a little thumb thing under here that is always the best spot to hold it on for when your right hand. So your thumb goes under there, and there's 3 holes right here. 1, 2, 3, perfect like that. And then these 4 are your pinky keys. We'll go more over that later in class. And then still looking at the back of the clarinet, this right here is for your left thumb, and you're gonna want that in the 1 o'clock position. I know it might be backwards because I'm using a front camera right now, but it's the 1 o'clock position. And then look at the holes on the clarinet, 1, 2, and 3. This one right here doesn't actually have a key, it's just a hole. And then thumb keys over here, we won't need those right now. So here's how you hold it and everything. So next I want to go over embouchure and how to play the first note, which is just gonna be an open G. And it's gonna sound like that. So the clarinet embouchure compared to other woodwinds actually requires a lot more, I guess I'll just say a lot more things that go into it. So there's 2 main ways that you can make this embouchure. One is rather simple, it's just the whistle method. And so if you whistle and you freeze mid-whistle, and gently pull up the, pull up the corners of your mouth so it looks like this. And then you can just take that position and put the clarinet in your mouth. So I'll do it again since I talked in the middle of it. Oh, sorry about that. My reed is a little dry, just from talking. And so that was the first method. The second method is the one that I prefer. You actually, and it's way funner to do too, you pretend that you are drinking a Frosty from Wendy's. You hold your straw, and it's a really thick milkshake, you know, and you're really trying to drink it, and so you go, and you freeze, and that's the face that you use. So I'm gonna show you guys again, so I'm not talking in the middle of it. And you can use either method that you prefer. They both get you essentially the same end result. And so the note that I just played was open G. The fingering is actually really simple for it. You don't push down any of them at all. So I can literally play it like this if I wanted to. So that's just the day 1 essentials of clarinet. I'm really excited to work with you and your student later in the year and hopefully in more years to come. So thank you.